Blog Talk Radio.
Well, all right. Hello there. To all of my tea sippers out there, honey, you know what it is. It's another glorious Wednesday. And I want to thank the universe and the omniverse for it, honey. And you know what time it is, child. So get all of your crumpets together because it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darling, with Big Meat. Hello. Thank you for all of your love and your support. If you're tuning in by computer, wish to join in on the conversation, please feel free to call 347-205-9183. Again, that's 347-205-9183. Okay? Let me say to all of say hello, rather, to all of my tea sippers over there in the tea room, the chat room. I got a couple of guests. Okay, so your guests, you won't be able to chat, but you can listen in, okay? Now, in order for you to chat, you're going to have to log into the system and this, that, and that. I'll get into all that later. But I thank you for your love and want to make sure that you have a good time with us, okay? Now, let me say this right now because I just want to start this off here. I want to put my disclaimer. This show is for mature audiences, and the language and subject matters are not appropriate for children or anyone who is not mature enough to handle the subject matters. Your listening discretion is advised. Again, I say your listening discretion is advised. Now, honey, y'all know I have a potty mouth, and I make no excuses for it. So, children, if you are at work and listening from your computers and things, you may either want to put your headphones on or turn the volume down because y'all not going to be blaming me for y'all getting fired and shit. You know what I'm saying? So just govern yourselves accordingly and responsibly, please. That's my thing here. If you're over there in the tea room, honey, remember this is just the written word, and the written word is to your interpretation. So please don't go throwing your computer out the windows or at walls or anything because you interpreted something wrong. It's okay to disagree. Let's not be disagreeable, okay? Dish your tea over there responsibly. Thank you so much. Now, today's show, I title it, Out from the Bride's Ashes Stands Amuka. Oh, baby, doesn't that just ring? Now, before I get into all of that, honey, just to give you a heads up of what that's about, I need to say hello and thank you to all of my sponsors for helping me make this happen and pull all of this together. So thank you for your love and your support. And I have two new sponsors that I'm going to be introducing to you as well. So, honey, you know, I'm jumping for joy over here for more than one reason, but I can't get into all that. That's personal. Read between the lines, honey, you'll get it. Trade Day Management and PR firms. At Trade Day, enjoy a touch of Southern hospitality with a universal appeal for all of your public relations and entertainment management needs. Contact Travion Davenport at 678-523-3088. Again, that's 678-523-3088, or email her at traydaypr@gmail.com. Again, that's traydaypr, TREADAYPR@gmail.com. Pharaoh's Treasure Box, fine art, unique jewelry, and sensational 3D silk floral arrangements. Creations by Taps. For all of your decorative needs, contact Pharaoh's Treasure Box at 248-688-5178 or 5179. Again, 248-688-5178 or 5179. Or you can email at pharaohstreasurebox@comcast.net. Again, that's pharaohstreasurebox@comcast.net. Parisian Wine Productions. Music to lighten your spirits and lift your soul. Specializing in gospel inspirational house dance music. For all of your Christian settings and those wonderful gospel sets, contact Paris Hairster, he's the CEO, at 347-406-7734. Again, that's 347-406-7734. Or you can email him at Paris42268@yahoo.com. Paris42268@yahoo.com. Life Fellowship of Christ Ministries. Live in freedom everywhere, LIFE. Reverend James Coleman is the leader and founder of the Ecumenical Social Justice Ministry, brought forth to free the oppressed and introducing a fresh approach to the Christ consciousness. Contact Reverend Coleman at mustardcole@yahoo.com, mustardcole@yahoo.com, or by phone at 313-833-9278, 313-833-9278. Echam Vidal Couture. Enjoy high fashion with a luxurious twist. Step into the future with fresh, innovative couture designs by Miss Michi DeVille. For more information, contact Michi at 313-996-9807, 313-996-9807, or you can Facebook Michi at facebook.com/MICHIEEDEVALE, Michi DeVille. Big Brothers Network, BBN, a new online web magazine designed to show the world the class and style of the debonair man of size and his admirers. The first edition was launched this past Memorial Day weekend, and we're currently running the second edition right now. For more information, contact Big Daddy Tony Brown at Tony@BigBrothersNetwork.com. That's BIGBROTHAS. Network.com. Okay? Also, one of my new sponsors, honey, this is Kissin' After Dark Entertainment. Kissin' After Dark Entertainment presents Lesbian Wednesdays, honey, the hottest lesbian bi-curious party in Atlanta. They're kicking off on September 8th, 2010. It's going to be every Wednesday night from 8 p.m. until at the Banana Wine in the Underground Atlanta. For more information, go to Facebook and sign up here at Kissin' After Dark Entertainment. That's KISSN After Dark ENT. Once again, Kissin' After Dark Entertainment. Thank you, Kissin'. And also, my new sponsor coming on board, Swirl Films Entertainment, the #1 urban film production company. They offer many services. They offer producer services. They offer directing. They offer writing services for your scripts. They offer production services, can help you in assembling all of your production works. They can assist you in building your budget and keeping on schedule in your post-production work. My friends over there, Mr. Eric Thomasunas, Russ Parr, yes, the radio DJ Russ Parr, David Eubanks, James Supplefrick, and my boy Keith Neal are all partners in this venture, and Swirl Films can be found at www.swirlfilms.com, or you can contact their office at 910-798-2934. Again, 910-798-2934. So thank you. Got new sponsors and things, y'all. We're moving on up, honey. I feel like Weezy and George, child. Okay, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this thing here, because sweetest, this here is a joy for your nerves. As I said, coming out of the ashes of the Brides of Funkenstein, my guest, honey, has stood the test of time. She is still the reigning queen of funk and has made her mark on the musical world, honey, and studied her stuff across the United States and across the other countries. And now, out of the former self, honey, she still rises to the top. And then now, I want to present to others and introduce to some, honey, none other than the one and the only. Her name now is Miss Amuka. Hello there, baby. How are you?
Oh, I'm great, baby. Thank you. I really appreciate that introduction. I have to say, I've never called myself the queen of funk, but that's pretty funny. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Oh, my darling. Okay, look, you know what? We're going to get you together right now. Because, baby girl, let me break this down, okay? Without you and your contribution and what you have done with the Brides of Funkenstein. My darling, that is your voice that brought the brides into the forefront of everything. That is your voice, honey, that has had us sit up there rocking and shaking and feeling all that funk, baby, because you had to develop that sound. Everything that y'all did, baby, was to define a whole movement, because you're the creators and the innovators of it, honey. And ain't nobody came after you, and ain't nobody top it. So for that reason alone, you, Miss Amuka, are the queen of funk. That's it. Enough said. Woo! Okay, I'm feeling that right now.
Well,
Wait a minute. That's
wow,
all
I appreciate that.
And in my spirit. Oh, sweetheart, sweetheart. No, we appreciate you, honey. We appreciate you for telling us, honey, it's a party up in here, honey. Don't buy no Texas from a cowboy and carrying on.
That's right.
We appreciate you for telling us, honey, it's the plush funk going on up in here. We appreciate you for allowing what Spirit gave you to do at that time, honey, to sit up there and to get a movement started.
Wow.
So,
that's really
if you're not understanding how it was, let's go to the beginnings of it, because I want you to take us through this journey of how you came to be, when you started, and then we're going to give this a plateau from when you went from Sheila, the Brides of Funkenstein, to rising to Amuka, honey, dance club diva, honey, an international superstar, and friend to the LGBT community. So, my darling, let's take us from the beginning. Let's take us back to that time where you decided and knew that singing was going to be you.
Well, oh gosh, where I started, I'm from Syracuse, New York originally, and I used to just listen to the radio and stuff, and I used to sing all the time, and people kind of liked it, and then my friends would talk me into getting into the talent shows, so I entered, and I started winning, and I was seeing that people actually liked my voice. I mean, it was making them happy, so I figured, it made me feel good, so I kept doing it, and then one day I met this guy at United Sounds who knew George, who was working with George. His name was E-Man, and he took me in there, and I had a tape, because I was with a group with Leroy Heiter, a group from the Detroit area, which is where I'm originally from. And I took it in. And
Detroit now.
Yes, the Big D. And George he walked down the stairs, and he had these great big boots on, and it was in the middle of summer, and he had all this leather, and I'm like, who is this guy, right? And then he said, he heard the tape. He says, do you have a passport? And I'm like, no. He said, well, you need to get one. I'm like, why? Because you're going to Europe. So I'm like, really? He said, you're hired. So he hired me right there on the steps of United Sound.
Oh, my.
Of course, I didn't believe it. I was like, yeah, right. But he was serious.
Right, exactly.
I actually did go, but I have to tell you this. There was the guy that I was dating at the time told me he was from a wealthy family, and he was like, well, there's no such thing as stars. You can't be a star. You wanting to be a star is like a black man wanting to be president. It'll never, ever happen. So I thought that was pretty interesting after Obama won. But anyway, I just had to throw that in there and tell it like it is. And that was to just say, don't let anybody plant any negativity in your subconscious mind. Just, stay in faith and just keep your dreams alive, and don't let anybody take your joy, steal your joy or your dreams, or stamp on your dreams. Stomp on your dreams. Don't allow that. It's true. So, there you go. Anything is possible.
Okay.
Anything is possible. It's limitless. When that's what I know.
And yes, baby, honey. Yes, it's
and
limitless, and I love that. Go ahead.
After that, then I did the Blackwood thing in Italy. I lived in Italy for about a year, and I did Blackwood, and I had a #1 song over there, Peace, and a whole album. And then I came back here, and I worked with Jackie B, Peter Rohofer, which I love Peter Rohofer because I have to say this business can get crazy, and when it was proposed to him that the next Amuka record would be somebody else, he stood up for me, and he was like, no, she's Amuka, and this is who Amuka is going to be. So I really have to send a shout-out to him. and just say thank you for that. But that's how I became Amuka, and he believed in me, and it all started with, I have to say, I have to give a big props to Peter Rohofer, because he really believed in me and made it all happen, and I just kind of blossomed from there. I met a lot of really cool DJs and a lot of, like, the Edson Prides and the DJ Paulo and the different people all over the United States and outside the United States, Offer Neeson, Maya, Yanan Hillel. There's just so many people that I've met. And I have to give a shout-out to Michi because, you know, Michi was somebody on Facebook that's a fan. It's from Detroit. We're all, like, home people. And for believing in me and finding me and, like, saying, you know, hey, girl, I want to send a big shout-out and big love thing to Michi. And, yeah, I had to say that. So.
All right,
yeah,
that's
so
my
then
little
Amuka
niece over there.
So Amuka was
That's
born,
so neat.
and it's been an amazing thing. The fans are so wonderful. I just want to send a big love to all the fans out there that have been supportive and just let me know that what I'm doing added value to your lives and made a difference, and that's what I'm here for.
Darling.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Oh, darling. Darling. In more ways than one. Now, you know, let's go here. Because I know in my research with you that, you know, some of those days, honey, of early are not necessarily those things that make you happy at this time. You know, when you look back over it, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
if I could have done something a little differently, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, but let's journey down that path respectfully.
Okay.
And let's talk about the lessons that you learned during that time. When you and when George hired you and brought you into that circle, what was the whole mystification for you? What was it that opened your eyes to say, wow, this is the music business, you know, like, damn, you know. What was that for you?
It just seemed bigger than life, you know, at that point. It was like a fantasy, you know, going to Europe, being at Parliament and being treated like royalty, and just it was really amazing. But then, you know, I'm not a competitive person, so there was a lot of competitiveness, you know, that I have to talk about. And I'm more into being creative, and I feel that competition thwarts creativity. So that was kind of rough for me. That part was a little rough. There was a lot of competition. I mean, just it was incredible. I'd never seen anything like it, and you know, I'm really not into that, really. Because I don't want anything to interfere with my creativity, you know. Just
dig in. So now, now, when you say competition, we all know that, you know, the girl groups of the 70s and carried on. There was always, you know, those who
I was
would
more
come
in the
out.
80s for me. It was like the 80s.
Oh, okay, so you came along back in the early 80s and all of that. Oh, yeah. So, but even at that particular time, everybody was you know, once one group started, then of course there came, you know, the other groups and things that would have the public battle with one another. You know, there was the brides and the harlots and this, that, and the other.
Yeah, it was
and
definitely a competitive. Yeah, that was definitely.
So,
sorry, I'm going to just tell it like it is. It was definitely some competition there. But I wasn't even really aware of it. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, I didn't know that. I just looked at it, these are two of George's groups. But there was some serious issues going on between the girls and who was his favorite and who's, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff was definitely going on. So.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think even to this day, there's some feelings about,
Are you serious?
You know, well, you guys. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. There's definitely, And I would hope that would, like, you know, it's like way too long to still be holding on to those kind of things. And I'm just into letting things go because we can't live in the past. You know what I mean? We have to live in the now.
Yeah.
Everything is now. Even preparing for your future is now. Right. And you can't change anything from back. You can't change it, so Why are you going to worry about it?
Because it didn't happen already. Exactly. So with this competition, let me play devil's advocate here, just a little bit. Okay, because and as a child, back in the day, we heard some of the stories, and we always hear this amongst women that a lot of girls don't get along. It's hard to work with girls. It's hard to work with women. But a lot of us wanted to believe that there was a sisterhood, and I'm down for. And then we still on the cusp of Black Power when we were still all together and Afros and united and this, that, and the other.
Well, back then they always got. We were just kids ourselves, really, and that's part of the whole thing. They want to get you when you're really young and you don't really have that much knowledge, so. Because they were like, okay, you're going to do this show, and then you're going to do this show for free. And I have to say, this guy, Kush, who was one of the horn players, was like, he pulled us aside, and he was like, no, I know you guys got stars in your eyes, but you need to get paid for every show you do.
Okay,
and when you're like, when you're like young, like that, a kid, you just want to be out there. You're just so happy to be there. You got the stars in your eyes. You don't really even think about, well, I need to get paid for this. I need to get paid for every show. So we took a stand. I remember taking a stand and nope, if you want us to do this show, you're going to have to pay us. And that was interesting.
Ooh.
That was very interesting.
So
they always make you feel guilty.
The voice. Girl.
Yeah. Because, I don't know why they always...
you labeled as a troublemaker?
Well, it's like they always make you feel guilty about asking for what you have every right to inquire about. But
exactly.
There's always this, even when you're working in a session or working on any type of situation, when you're working with groups, if you mention the business, people just get strange. And in reality, you need to mention the business. But when you do, there's always this thing like, well, this weird thing happens, Like I remember a group that I was working with, and I went to them, and I was writing lyrics, So when I inquired about what percentage was I going to get, whatever, I never heard from them again. But I know.
Right.
But it was just
right.
as well. It was just as well because the thing is about being an artist, we're so into that, we kind of forget the business part. And I'm just saying, don't forget that part because it's really important.
Okay. So, let's talk about that business a little bit more in depth. Because, as an artist, what was that like for you coming, off the hip, not understanding it and then had to learn a crash course in it? What was that like for you? Because in order to say, what, motherfuckers, y'all gonna pay me up in here and actually have the fortitude, you know what I'm saying? To have the fortitude to say you're gonna pay me. And an era where women were still considered, less than, and where women's rights were still being fought for and carried on. What was that like for you?
I'm just going to tell you, even when I was in the band on P-Funk, on the tour, they would always, I'm just going to tell you, and I don't care if they get mad, but a lot of the guys would always say, we don't need women. We don't need women out here. We don't need y'all. And I'm like, yes, you do. Because we had sex appeal and those voices, you can't do them. That happened. I have to, and I'm talking about it, and I don't really. I'm going to say it, and that's what's happening. But the business, it's always like they really always try to keep you in the dark. Even to this day, I'm still learning things. Like, did you know that if you register your work, your songs with BMI, and an administrator, you do an administrative deal with a publisher, co-publisher, or whatever. Do you know that person, that co-publisher, doesn't even have to have any documentation proving that they have the right to administer your publishing? They can call BMI and tell them that, and then you as the artist have the burden to prove that they no longer have it when it's over. That is the weirdest thing in the world. I am serious. And you know what? A lot of artists have, oh, my God, a lot of artists have no clue that this is going on. I just realized that a publisher I worked with in the past still has that he has rights to my publishing on my songs because BMI says, well, I never called in and changed it. But they never got any documentation giving that person the right to do it. So why is it that I as an artist have the burden of proof? You know what? I'm going to tell you something. I am not kidding you. And the lady at BMI told me, Sheila, it's a racket. She told me. I may start an organization to protect artists from this type of thing. I really feel strongly about it because it's just really, I mean, this is our intellectual property. This is something that, it's like our baby, like our children. And you wouldn't let anybody just come in and you know what I'm saying? See, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm blown back because when I interviewed Tony Thierry, he said something to me, and we didn't get in depth like that because he said someone else had opened a publishing company in his name, and like his songs like Lovey Dovey and carrying on, they were getting paid, and he got missed out on all his money because somebody else did it. And here you are seconding that and saying that, girl, wait a minute.
That's why. Oh, wait, I got a better one. I don't know if you heard about this one, but Sly Stone, his managers, people that used to manage him, was going to BMI and borrowing against his royalties while he was living on Social Security, and he had no idea, and he just recently busted them, and they just gave him $1 million until they straightened it out. But these guys were borrowing millions. This just happened. Yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
All I'm going to say is anybody, you get in this business, understand publishing. Understand it, and songwriting, if you're going to be a songwriter, and I would suggest that you do become a songwriter, understand it as much as you possibly can, because that is what they count on, that we don't have an understanding of it, and that's how they take advantage. That's it.
Get out of here. Because I've always known that distribution was good, and you had to be up on your distribution. Girl, she said publishing. Lord,
you better be up on your publishing, because that's where the money is. Money. Publishing means people have to come to you to license the right to use your song. That means they have to pay you. That's the reality. That's why publishing is so important, because it's money, and it's ongoing money. So
that's right. Girl,
and see, I'm about knowledge. I'm about sharing the knowledge, and I'm about preventing people from falling in some of the pit holes that some of us have fallen into. I don't know one artist that doesn't have a war story. That's what we call them, war stories, because everybody I know has one, at least one. You know, and that's why I wrote this new song I wrote, and it's not a negative song. This song was a song of healing. I have a new song called Clever Thief, Thief. And I mean, because my girlfriend kept saying that this person, that he's a clever thief. And I'm like, you know what, I have to write that song because they definitely exist. And this song is a song of healing for them, people that feel that it's okay to do that, and the people that are victimized by it. So I'm into healing, songs that heal. So, yeah. And I have another song called Give It To You, but I don't know if you have that one. But that one is about love. Yeah.
Oh, no,
that's about love.
One, not yet.
I'm meant to give you that one.
That's all right, honey, because
it's coming to be released.
When I get all of your collection, your catalog, Miss Ma'am, it's going to be right up and popping. But listen, let me ask you about this particular sound. Because since the days of BOS and now the sound of Amuka, what has changed in that sound? What has changed in the whole evolution of you?
I think, well, you know what's interesting, because when I did Appreciate Me, that song wasn't as vocally, I don't know, I want to say powerful, because it is, I think it's still powerful, but I just did it it was like more mellow and relaxed until you get to the hook. But most of the songs I did with George, which Never by Texas, was like a lot of like Led Zeppelin type screaming and very hard work. And I think Appreciate Me was one of it wasn't like, it was more mellow, and people really loved the mellow, so I'm liking the mellow too. I mean, I like them both, but I just go with whatever I feel. I guess I changed, you know. My influences, I'm more of a rock singer. That's really what I am. I'm a rock and roll singer. I was working on a rock album when Appreciate Me took off, And they told me I had to come back up and deal with Appreciate Me because it was blowing up in the clubs, and I was like, oh, whoa. So it was a complete surprise.
Yes, ma'am, honey. So much to the fact where, yes, it caught the attention of the children, honey, with queer as folk.
Right.
And then, you know, you're on soundtracks and this, that, and the other. What was that like for you when the children, honey, the Rainbow children, just came up and just embraced and just loved you? Now, I have to say this because everybody who don't understand the power of the Rainbow Dollar, baby, I'm telling you, when
it's not
when
even
the kids come
love.
in,
it's the love.
Exactly.
I mean,
when
my God, they have the energy.
Honey,
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead,
honey.
Tell it.
No, I was like, those shows. I've done, a lot of different shows. I mean, and it's just the amount of love and their faces and the energy. They're amazing. The community is like, that's my family. That's it. I mean, when I got married, when my husband and I, when we got married, we looked at all our friends, and most of them were gay friends. I mean, I gravitate to people that are loving and caring and it's just natural for me. It's just really natural. So I love it. I love that they embrace me because I definitely embrace them. And I'm definitely very much involved in that. Anything that, the fact that it really bothers me that in the state of Florida, which is where I live now, they don't allow gays to adopt. I really don't understand that because I have some friends that have children, and they love those kids more than anything I've ever seen. So I can't understand how you can even, and the fact that they won't let gays supposedly get married is beyond me. It's just beyond me because I have friends that are couples, and they love each other as much love as anybody could give to each other, and I don't see any difference in their love as a heterosexual love. You know what I mean? Love is love.
Exactly.
There's no difference in the type of love. So that is, I have to take a stand for what I feel is right. And nobody can tell anybody who to love. I'm in an interracial relationship. My husband is Irish and Indian, and he's like, he's amazing. And our love is, you can't measure it. It's, you know what I'm saying.
That's a hell of a cross there, Irish and Indian.
Well, he looks Irish. You wouldn't know he's Creek Indian, but you wouldn't know that because it's totally, you can't tell. He just looks Irish, but he's really cool. And we think about it one time when it was illegal for an interracial couple to get married.
Yes, it was.
You remember that?
They came in your door, busted your door down, honey. Yes, ma'am.
Soledad O'Brien, her mother and father were forbidden to get married. Soledad O'Brien, I saw her talk at something, and she was telling about how they weren't even allowed to go to dinner together because their mom was Cuban and her father is white. Yeah, and so they had to move somewhere else to get married. So, that amazes me. So I understand what that's like to feel like you love somebody and you're not allowed legally to marry them. It's absurd. I'm sorry.
Completely.
I'm sorry. I just feel very.
You know what?
About it.
And you know what? Let me say thank you for just your compassion with that, because if we had more people with that same compassion who understands that there may be the struggle itself will have a little bit more momentum. And then I'm going to say this, too, and that is we have to get rid of all of the color divides, because our Caucasian brothers and sisters, honey, are on that battlefield, while, the African-American and persons of color don't necessarily jump on that so readily, But it's cultural differences in that, because, yes, child, it's cultural differences in that, because, go ahead.
In the gay community, are there racial lines? Is there racism in the gay community? Oh, sorry. Is that a silly question?
You know what? No, there's no silly questions, honey. It's just that I'm going to answer it by saying that the struggle is the struggle, period.
Wow.
And a lot of people don't understand that, because the fight with gay folks, particularly African American or people of color, LGBT people, a lot of folks think this is something we could just turn on and off. And they don't understand that, no, baby, this is a part of who I am, and my struggle becomes doubly important as a person of color because not only am I fighting the same race fight that we as a community fight as people of color, but now I have to fight also with the people of color because you trying to tell me who I'm supposed to be in love with or who I'm supposed to love. And a lot of people don't embrace that. Our Caucasian counterparts are on the forefront of that battle. So anytime they compare the struggle, the gay struggle, with the civil rights movement, black folks get upset about that because they're like, no, how can you compare that? And it's one and the same because I am black and I was there. I'd been beating my head at 5 years old by a guy with the clown suit on, honey, on the corner of 7 Mile and the Chrysler Freeway on my way to the store because I was black.
No.
So I understand. Yes, baby, I was 5 years old. I used to go to the store. You stand out there with the sign, and I never read the sign, but he had a big old red clown nose on and stuff, looking like a buffoon, and every time I'm going to walk by, he'd knock the shit out of me at that damn sign.
Yes, my goodness.
Yes, ma'am.
That is awful.
So the struggle is
I asked you that question because I was talking to somebody and they were like, oh, well, this night is black gay night and this night is white gay night. I never heard that before. And I'm like, why are there two different nights?
Because of the music,
understand.
the culture, and a lot of us are afraid to embrace it. And see, now, do you know what? Now, it's interesting that we're having this conversation because it links back to some of the days of old that you had with BOF. Because it's the same thing. Everybody wants status. Everybody wants to feel important. No one wants to be outdone or outshined. If the new bitch came in, honey, and was talking to us, then the old bitches wanted to sit up there and destroy her.
Of course.
It's the same
that's kind of what,
struggle.
that's interesting, because that's kind of what happened with P-Funk. You want to know why I left? I'm going to be breaking it down. I was a P-Funk All-Star, and once you're a P-Funk All-Star, you're always a P-Funk All-Star. But then George brought in some new people, and I had been there, and I wasn't singing like my own song. You know what I mean? Like my whole, and all of a sudden these new people he brought in, they were singing songs. And I just was okay with it until my fans started complaining. They were like, wait a minute, hold up. Why are these girls singing and you're not? And your voice is da-da-da. I'm not going to get into that. And then I was like, well, I couldn't explain. I had no answer to them.
You were the queen of funk right there because your voice was the one that was identified. Right there, baby.
Yeah, well,
the fans just told it. Right
honey,
there.
they were really upset. And it got to a point where I was no longer happy, and if I'm not happy singing where I am, I have to leave. And I left. I left. I said, well, because I wanted to do something else. And I stepped out on faith. I asked God, I'm a spiritual person, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but this is who I am. Authentically, I'm a spiritual person, and I stepped out on faith and said, God, I'm going to step out on faith, and I know you got me. And then basically, he had me. So that's it. I mean, that's it.
Now you know what? Now let's go into that transition time between you leaving BOF and then emerging. Because, like I said, out of the ashes of the Brides stands Amuka, honey. What was that transition period like for you?
I had to. Let's see. I was. That's interesting because I was actually on tour with George, but then I wasn't happy anymore, and I was doing different recordings and everything, and I just kind of had a little period where I was redefining who I was or finding myself. I just took a pause, when you're on the runway and the plane's about to take off, it kind of pauses and taxis along the runway for a minute. That's kind of what I did, and then I had done this Appreciate Me song, and I was in Florida working on a rock album with my now husband, Jason Kelly, who I have to say is one of the most amazing
Shout him out, girl. Don't be embarrassed.
That's
Shout him
my
out.
baby. He is one of the, well, I have to tell you, I have to tell this. This is one of the most amazing stories ever. I got on my knees and asked God to give me somebody that He wanted to choose for me because I wasn't doing so well, and I wasn't. It's called your divine selection. I wasn't doing well at all, and I even had the nerve to say, God, could you please have them tell me that you sent them? That's what I said. Then I laughed at myself like, yeah, right, that's going to happen.
Right.
The next day, I knew Jason already. The next day, we're talking on the phone for like 2.5 hours, and then near the end of the conversation, he says to me, Sheila, don't you know I'm your soulmate? I'm your kindred spirit. I'm the one God sent for you. Just like that. Woo! And I said, what did you say? And he repeated it, and I fell off the bed. And I said, what made you say that? He said, God told me to say it. And I'm telling you, that is the honest-to-God truth. My mother can witness it because she was the one that told me that she met the woman who said that when she asked God for her divine selection, He sent her the most amazing man in the world. And my mom said, you should try it. And I did. And that's what happened. So that's a true story. And that will be in the book. That's going to be in the book.
And the book is coming soon. Okay, my latest paperback.
You got to share your miracles, right? You got to share the miracles.
You know what? See, this is the thing, and this is why we have to celebrate you, because I am so touched at the fact, and I'm honored, because our lives are not ours. We think we're doing something, and, you know, while we're on this side of creation, navigating ourselves and thinking, well, I'm going to live for myself, honey, can't nobody tell me. You know, we got all that. But everything that we do is for someone else's benefit. Everything.
Oh, yes.
Because it is a continuous circle. The world, honey, life goes ever round, and it goes clockwise. It never goes backwards. And that's why it is so important to understand this. And you, my sister, my dear sweet sister, with this awesome voice, honey, that came from humble beginnings and come out of a place, honey, that was trying to dictate what Spirit had already given you. Because in my research, I know that some of the way that you were singing, it's kind of like you had a Tina Turner story. I didn't want to sing. Tina just said it in her interview, child, I am a singer like this. I didn't want to sing like that. But in order to get it done, this is what he wanted, and I produced because I was at work. So here we have it. And out of all of that, you have just helped to define a whole world. And I was telling Michi this earlier, and that is understanding what funk is. Because a lot of people didn't get it. They just thought because you had a big old strong bass line on it, that was funky. You know, it fits you there because that bass line, a good bass line get into that soul, baby, up in the spine. Woo! I love it. But this was the thing.
Funk
you
is being on the one.
Have shaped what vocal is, and funk became spirit. Because like some of the lyrics said, yes, I know. And that's what was so transforming with it. That's why it took us there. That's why it was a whole new sound. Michi and I were talking, and yes, LaBelle and I, you know, Patty my diva. But LaBelle is known as the first female rock group. Now, they come straight out the church screaming and hollering. That's lovely. But when you came into the mix, there was no copycat. You were you. And when y'all broke that shit down and said, honey, the party is over here, and when y'all broke that down, and girl, when you got into that wail and that scream, y'all shabacked up in that
I have to tell you, George had a lot to do with
that was spirit. And the
George's production, he pushed me to that point. If I tell you how many takes I did, and I thought they were all good, and he kept, do it again, do it again, do it again. Oh, my God. It was like, it was crazy. It was crazy. He
Child, no, hold on, because we finna give the folks a blast from the past. Honey, y'all listen to this.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
Whoa.
Wow.
Jeanette was
Baby.
brutal. Her name is Satori now. Wow.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
And Dawn Silver.
And
oh, man.
what the folks did not get, baby,
Wow.
baby.
Wow.
Woo! To come in, see that wail and that yell, because you didn't know what
Lord.
to do, honey. And all of that is spirit. Everybody who's been touched by the spirit, honey, when you don't know what to do, that wail is called a shabbat. When you just, oh, yes! And you can't do nothing. And that's what funk was about. It was about letting go and being free. Let the music take you where it was going to take you. You know?
Wow.
And then when you got vocals, honey, the vocals was going to be the vocals, honey. Whatever came out, came out. If it was off key, it was off key. If it was whatever, whatever. Because right now we raw, we real. And this is how spirit is moving. And if you down with it, honey, come on. Because somebody said there was a party over here. How?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
You know?
Definitely.
So,
wow.
Whew, wait a minute. That got me going, baby. All right. Chad, I'm telling you, baby. I'm telling you.
That
Woo!
was, yeah.
Okay. Whew. Chad, I love when I get like this, but then when I get like this, it takes me a minute to calm myself down because I'm rocking. I'm about to pace the floor in a second.
Wow.
But just that spirit right there that I'm going to see, this is what music is. And when you talk about bringing in the funk, honey, and the funk is all Detroit. For those of you who don't understand it, honey, the funk, the mothership, honey, docked and got her tune-up every day in Detroit, honey. She originated right there in the D. So it wasn't just Motown. Motown gave us one thing, but then came in the funk. And y'all shaped a whole revolution, you know, and funk, basically, is black folks rock.
Yeah, you know, it was
down to it.
It used to be, George said it used to be a bad word, you know. I was like, what? Funk was a bad word? he said, yeah, funk used to be a bad word. I'm like, wow. That's intense. It was usually like guys were into it. Like there were a lot of guys whose their girlfriends or whatever, like their girlfriends didn't like it. It was mostly, funk was like a man thing, or it seemed like it for a minute, but then I think that changed. But at one point, I had a lot of friends who would say that their girlfriends didn't like the funk. I was like, oh boy.
But see, here it is. It helped to change because of the image. When the brides came, okay, number one, it was to help boost the ego, honey, of what that male dominance was. You know, because mind you, we're still in the 80s. You know, all of that going on, and, you know, we still in that male-dominating thing. You know, I got my bitches, and, you know, what the rappers are doing now with these videos and stuff, it's basically what y'all were the forefront of all of that when the guys would have the girl counterparts. You know, we the funkers, you know, so now we got our girl counterparts, and, you know, So, but what you guys did, or what you gals did, the sisters, was to help shape as they know we are a force to be reckoned with, honey. We're just not some little, you know, property of, like in motorcycle gangs, honey, when the guys that have on the jackets, but the girls had on the T-shirts, I'm the property of. Fuck that. No, honey. If we're doing this, I am, you know, a part of this, honey. I am Parliament, honey. We brides. Okay, that's cute. But watch this. You know. And that's what you gave us. And that voice on there, they couldn't fuck with it. And George knew that.
Man.
That's
I don't know if I want to sing that again.
Well, you know what?
That was
and the whole thing of it is, you may not have to, because it was already your foundation. Exactly.
Yeah, it was my inner Led Zeppelin. That's what that was.
Exactly. Okay. Because
George, he knew I liked Led Zeppelin, so he was like, you know, do the Zeppelin thing. So I was like, okay.
Oh, that's what he called it, the Zeppelin thing. Okay, do your Zeppelin thing.
He called
Come
it
on,
do your
girl.
Zeppelin thing. That's what he would say. He would say, think about that. And that's when the screaming came. I forgot about the fact that once you do that, you got to do it on stage. You got to do it live.
Exactly. Okay, right. Because now because that's the part everybody living for.
I know.
That's the part everybody living for, because she finna say it. She finna sock it to me. Right here, come on, girl, sock it to me. Sock it. Oh, yes.
I know.
Because that's what we wait now. Yeah.
The scream.
But you know what?
Yes.
Now, let me go here, because being the spiritual person that you are, how difficult was it for you to keep your spirituality intact, knowing the lifestyle that your band members were leading? Because everybody knows, and particularly at that time, everything is sex, drugs, and rock and roll. How were you able to stand independently of that and say, that's not my scene, sugar?
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to say I was an angel the whole time. I don't know what that means. But it wasn't really my thing, because I don't really have that. Some people have that compulsive, obsessive compulsive
disorder. That's what we call it now,
right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't really have that. And then what I didn't like is the culture, of the drug culture, of how you have to chase the guys and the whole, and I don't like seeing my money just burning. I don't like to gamble and see my money burn up. I get, just like go away. That part was the biggest problem for me, because I could figure out so much more to do with the money than that. So that kind of bothered me. And then I didn't like the way, you don't have control. And I like having control over my surroundings. So that it just didn't work with my personality. And then, I had a situation with my brother. People like say things like, "Oh, cocaine can't kill you," or "crack can't kill you," but my brother got pancreatic cancer from it and passed away.
Damn.
So I have I'm not down with that drug thing at all, because I know the damage that it can do to the human body. I mean, I've seen it, and people experiment, but it's like you don't stay there. I mean, I wouldn't even say experiment. It's not even worth experimenting with, to be honest with you, because it constricts your body. My friend's a doctor. His name is Rod, and he said when you I asked him, I said, what does that do to your body? He said, well, the body knows it's not supposed to have it, so it constricts whenever you put it in there, any kind of drug, and it changes your body over time. It changes the way you look over time.
Yes,
so
it does.
I was like, well, I don't want that to happen, so I'm better not. Yeah, it just wasn't for me, And I noticed that when people were in that state, they didn't get anything done. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to get things done. I'm serious. It's hard to create.
Because they're in the
That's what
reality. Exactly.
Being a creative person, see, there's a trick with that thing, because it makes you think, oh, well, if I got this going on, I can create. But you really aren't creating. I mean, it makes you think you are, but you're not. It's a false kind of thing. It's like it's fake. And I don't want anything thwarting my creativity, whether it's being in a competitive situation or something like that has control over me. I'm not comfortable with that, because I always have to be able to create, because it's a very real part of me and who I am as a person. And that's kind of what limits me, like not getting involved in that kind of thing, because I can't have that. I love writing and stuff. So that's, yeah. But it's not easy. I'm telling you, when you're surrounded by it, it's not. But there were a lot of other people in the band that did not participate in that as well. I mean, they didn't get involved. So, some people did, some people didn't. And but the only thing is, when you're affiliated with that, like sometimes I would bring up the P-Funk Connection or George Clinton, and they would automatically think, well, what about the drug thing? They wouldn't even think about anything else. So for a long time, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't even make the connection, because I was like, whoa, I'm not into that. So I don't want people to think I'm into that, so maybe I shouldn't make that connection. But there are a lot of us in the band of P-Funk All-Stars that do not do drugs. So that's like a misconception if they think the entire band does, because that is not true. And I want to shout out to Satori, Jeanette Magruder, and Dawn Silva, the other two brides, and also Lynn Mabry, who was one of the original brides. It was Dawn and Lynn. And then, there were three background singers, and then Lynn left, and one background singer left. And then Jeanette and I walked up, and we became the three brides. And the funny thing is, the other background singer that left, she was trying her best to get rid of Jeanette and myself, because she thought she was going to step into the place and be the other bride, because there were only two of them before. But what she did was she knocked the stuff out of the box. That whole God don't like Aggie, she knocked the stuff out the box, and then we walked up. See, what's meant for you is meant for you, and nobody can take it from you.
It's meant for you, exactly.
That's right.
That's what shade does. That's what shade does, honey. Being shady and cynical, honey.
Right? You don't have to compete for it. That's why I know you don't have to compete for anything. You don't. And that's why I don't believe in it, because what's there for you is for you, and you don't have to compete for it because the resources are limitless. So why compete? It's too much energy.
Wow, the resources are limitless. Get it, honey? Because see, that's why, Miss Ma'am, honey. See, everything about that connection, honey, that connection with spirituality is just everything for me. And see, I've been hearing it for years, in that whole, in the whole continuum of who you are in my life, and musically, because that there. When a lot of us couldn't explain it, we always say, a child, I don't know, but that just did something. And that spirit, honey, that's what it is. And it just reigns in everything. So now we've come out of those particular times. We've left the band. We've gone over. We've done Blackwood. Got a hit record with Blackwood under the name Blackwood.
Oh, yeah. Huge.
Where did Amuka step in? Because now we're here at this stage to where Amuka is the entity and the spirit of the divine, infinite omniverse, honey, that said this is what's going to bring forth.
I originally was supposed to be a project with a DJ named Jackie B, and I was under the impression that we were going to do an album, and then basically Peter told me that Jackie had come back to I'm just going to tell it like it is. Somebody might get mad, but I'm sorry. He came back to the label and brought another artist and said to Peter, this is going to be the new Amuka record. And he had replaced me, and I knew nothing about it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's why it's important to own your name. Own your name. It's so important. Just go through the whole process of trademarking it or, service marking it. It's really important because in that kind of situation cannot happen to you. Are you familiar with the band Funky Green Dogs?
I've heard of it. Wait a minute, yes. I know that name.
Yeah, they have big songs. I really didn't know much about them, but I was at a radio station in New York at KTU, and Vic Latino, who was really the first one to play my record, which I love him forever. Vic Latino and KTU and all the DJs up there, they played my record, totally supportive with Appreciate Me. And he made a comment while I was up there visiting to one of the representatives, this gentleman, Anthony Martinez, and he says to Anthony, well, don't bring another girl up here saying she's Amuka like that Funky Green Dogs group. He said, because I don't want any, we like her, so don't change her up. And I wasn't aware that kind of thing happened. And then when I asked Anthony what was he talking about, then he says, I think you need to talk to Peter. So I did, and Peter told me how Jackie brought another song up there, another girl, and said she was going to be the next Amuka project. And that's when my husband, with his brilliant self, Jason Kelly, said, you need to trademark this name. And I thought that since Jackie and we agreed on the name together, I didn't have the right. But if you perform under a certain name, you thereby have the right to trademark that name. Doesn't matter who came up with it. Doesn't matter. Because the Beatles did not come up with their name. Exactly. So we trademarked it, and that's what happened. I found out a lot of things, that weren't really Yeah, that's why I wrote this other song that I'm writing. But you just have to be really careful and pay very close attention to what's going on. You really have to, because people have some integrity issues in the business. They have to. They're a little off the path, and they're working themselves back on the path. But while they're getting there, you just need to be on top. We just all need to be on top of our game.
Girl, that's that process, honey.
The process, yes. And it really makes you feel, you can't understand it, because you're like, I would never do that. I don't understand that. But that's just how it is. People are different. We're all different. And some people are just not on the path. They're a little off the path, and they got to work their way back on. So until they get there, you just have to be on top of yours. That's the best
on
advice
top of yours.
I can do.
And it got to, and not just on top of it, honey. You have to surround yourself by those who are going to embrace the same vision that you have.
Yes.
Because, honey, what is that like for you? When you went and had to rebuild the team, your supportive team, was that difficult for you, or did you find it a little bit easier, or was it still a work in progress?
Well, my husband has been my manager for the past, since 2003, 7 years. He's been my manager, but he recently took a job, like an 8-to-5 job, a job that he loves. He graduated from FSU University, and this is something that he wanted to be involved in. So since he's always been supportive of me, I'm being very supportive of him. But it leaves me in a situation where everything is in my lap, where he was assisting me before. So I'm going through a change right now, a metamorphosis right now. So, I'm looking for someone to work with that is already enrolled and already believes in what I'm doing. As far as a new booking agent, because my husband was my booking agent, and he was handling everything. So, this is a transformation, but I'm a survivor, so I know that it all comes through, because it always does, and I just don't worry about it. I just let it happen.
Dig that.
And follow,
Dig that. Dig that, honey. Well, hold on. Let me. Go ahead. No, go ahead. It's what? Okay.
It's all a learning experience.
Exactly. It's a learning experience, and then not just a learning experience, but it's also growth. When it's time to go to the next level, honey, there's growing pains involved, because it's something that's new, and you got to experience it. A lot of times we don't like it. We bitch, moan, and complain, but you have to go through it. Like I said earlier, that process, baby, that process. But it's worth it. It's worth it.
Yes, it is.
Now,
because
you are you are in processing mode, let me give the audience this selection here.
wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And see, you know how spirit moves, because that's just, right now, that was just a perfect song. It was just a perfect interlude, because we set that up so beautifully, talking about the process, and yes, I'm in need of this, and I got to put this together, and I'm just crazy, because I'm ready to go to the next level now. It's time to go to the which is perfect. Okay.
Yes, it was. It was perfect. I was craving. I wrote that in Italy, and I craved being at home with my family and my friends, and that song it was weird being in a place where you don't really speak the language, you don't know a lot of people, and you live there while I was making a record, and it was rough. So that song helped me get through that period, actually. You know?
Mhm.
Yeah, that was fun.
Okay. But take us on the journey when you're penning a song, because I know it's different for everyone. I just started. Well, not just. I've written lyrics to maybe about 15 songs. I think.
Really?
When I lived in New York, yes, I did. And, every now and again I would get a line here and there, but, my writing discipline I really need to sit down and focus, because if I sit down and focus, then I know I could bump it out. But I know for me, and when I was in that space, it was, each song was different, but at the same time, I think each of them, was a part of me or something that I wanted to say, and this, that, and the other. And so for you, when you're writing, what is that like for you? Is it a connection to God? Is it, wanting to purge, and say, I need to get this off of me? Is it an idea that says, ooh, that sounds cute? All of the above, none of the above. What is that for you?
I probably would say all of the above, because like Appreciate Me was definitely, I knew it was, they're all from God, because I can feel it. I can't explain it. But I can feel
I know what you mean. I know.
It's like an eruption. I'm serious, like an eruption. Appreciate Me was like an eruption. So was Craving. It's like it had to come out. And the way they came out, it was like it didn't feel like me. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yes.
It didn't feel like me.
Somebody who understands spirit completely.
Oh, okay. It no longer felt.
So
it felt
right
like
there
me.
With you, sister.
It felt like me and somebody else,
yes.
God, I could feel his presence, like, bringing the song out of me. I knew that it was a gift. It was like he was letting me know, this is a gift. So you need to share this. Because I feel like every creation we make, like your show, it's something you created, and you're adding value to all the people's lives who listen to the show, who get something out of the show, who feel joy. You know what I mean? And that's why we're here.
For that. I received that.
We are here to create and add value. That's why he gave us the ability. Everything you see looking around, you look around, you don't care who it is, where you are, everything you see from the ceiling fan to the door to the light switch, it all came out of somebody's creative mind. And it all adds value to our lives right now. So if we all just continue to do that, man, you know what I mean?
Just say, wait a minute. Wait. Press pause for just a second. Because did you just say the goddamn light switch had added value, baby? I'm going to hit you with a wet noodle. I'm going to hit you with a wet lasagna noodle. Girl, but it's true. But it's so profound. That is so profound. I can't stand it.
Everything from your television to your stereo. It all came from somebody's creative mind. Somebody had to think about it first and then bring it into creation, like they created it. But God gave them. I feel like he's given us the motivation and the inspiration and the tools to do what we need to do, and he puts it there. That's just... that's...
Girl, that's woo. Okay, so wait a minute. Okay, that's working me. We got somebody that want to talk to you. We got a fan, honey. I'm gonna go right here. 313-964. 313-964, honey. I'm coming to you. You're dishing tea with Big Meat and Amuka, baby. Hey, Carla.
Hi, this is Satori, just calling to say I want to slap somebody after that song. I'm crazy.
Who is that?
Okay, do it, girl.
Satori.
I love it. Satori.
Sheila, you are rocking on this show, and the host is holding that thing down, boy. It's the most entertaining thing I've heard in a long time.
That's Satori.
I've been hanging for like an hour with you guys. It is so much fun, so much history, so much. It's beautiful. But that song, I'm Crazy Sure, I never heard that, Sheila.
You never heard Crazy?
No. You have to re-release that just for Detroit.
I know. This is the other bride. This is Satori. Well, you might know her, Jeanette. Oh, you gotta do a show. Oh, you gotta. Oh my God. Satori, you are on. Oh my goodness, this is too much. I love this.
I just wanted to say hi, and I'll hop out of here and talk to you on another time, personally. But I wanted to say I love this show. I love it. The interview is exciting. It's wonderful. History and your voice.
They gotta find out what you doing, Mama. They gotta hear you.
Another time. This is your show. So thank you very much. I love you. And what's the host name?
Baby, this is Big Meat, honey.
Okay, Big Meat, you are on on, okay?
Oh, baby, oh my God.
You are rocking. Okay. You are pulling all the colors out. I love the spiritual angle. I love everything about this interview. Okay, we got to put this on international blast.
Oh, sorry.
So much, my baby.
You are too much, girl.
Everybody listening, Gwen listening, everybody. I told everybody, listen now.
Oh, my God.
I Facebooked everybody.
Oh, my God.
All right, I'm gone. I'm out. I'm listening for the last minute.
I love you, Satori.
Love you, too. Bye.
I love you, honey.
Love you, baby. Thank you. Oh, my God.
Bye-bye. Oh, Big Michi. Big Michi, you got to hear her story. Big Michi. Oh, Big Michi. Satori is a force to be reckoned with. Let me tell you, she is amazing. She has a book done. Oh, my God. You've got to. I'm sorry. I know.
I am going to her real soon, Nanny. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm coming for you, girl. Thank you for
actress extraordinaire, comedian, all of that.
God, Graham, honey.
But there's a lot of us. There's Gwen and Janet, and there's Shirley Hayden. There's so many of the women that would love to be, I'm sure, to be a part of this. I mean, and that was definitely part of the reason why I wanted to open this up, so that all of them could tell their stories, because they all have beautiful, amazing stories.
Exactly.
And I know people want to know.
You know we do. See, that's just being human, honey, because we all want the dirt. But at the same time, everybody's experience was different. So it hit everybody, differently, and it hit everybody in a way, honey, that adds value to everything. And so to hear everybody's story, honey, what this meant, what that meant, how they processed it, how it shaped their lives to catapult them into the next area of living for themselves. Yes.
They're also we are definitely survivors. I have to tell you, man. We definitely have been it's amazing. It's an amazing story. It really is. The whole of all of us. It's pretty awesome. And when Michi told me, you need, do you do that? I'm like, definitely. And the opportunity just to share is amazing.
Oh, sister,
that is beautiful that you came in. That's beautiful.
I'm so glowing right now, and that there. Oh my God. Okay,
I'm glowing too because I had no idea. I'm like, I don't know who's listening. Who's listening?
I'm glowing and I'm tingling and all of.
Oh my goodness!
It's just
See
a
what
real
you started? See
Lord,
what you started now. It's a beautiful thing.
But it's all good. Now, hold on, because already we are down to the last 90 seconds of the show. And for those of you who are listening by computer, you better dial quick. You can catch it 347-205-9183. to catch the rest of this, because I got a couple more questions and I got another hand that done came up, and I'm going to take the caller. But if you can't call in, all of this will be in the archives, so you can catch whatever you missed in the archives once we've concluded. So thank you all for listening. I'm going to say thank you now, because we're going to keep talking and it may cut off on you, so don't think I'm being shady. Okay. I
won't, baby. Love y'all. Love everybody.
Okay.
Love and peace, baby.
Okay. Now we're going to go here. 313-996. Oh, okay. I know who this is right here. Come on up in here, child. You hear me?
You better know who this is. Can y'all hear me?
You better know who this is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Amuka, hey, mama.
Hi, honey.
I love you, Pumpkin. Do you hear me?
Yes, and I love you.
Y'all know who this is. This is Miss Michi DeVille, baby.
The one and
only. I just called to give you some love. I'm out here helping my friend move, and I don't want to get in no trouble. I just wanted to say that I love you, honey, and they don't appreciate you, baby, but they will. Do you hear me?
I love you too.
It's time to appreciate you, baby. I love you, and you know what? And it was so good to hear Satori's voice, honey. And for those of you who don't know who Satori is, she is the cowgirl, honey. That's the cowgirl. You
okay? All right.
I love, baby, the Brides. I just want to say God bless you for the voice. And if George is listening, thank you for making Sheila sing her ass off. Did you hear me?
Sorry.
You know what? He made y'all sing, and I loved it. I love him for that. God bless him for that. God bless you. And, Dawn, if you listening, mwah, 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 mwah. Oh, Indian cheese. You hear me?
Okay.
I love y'all.
Love y'all. Thank you, me.
Me.
Yeah,
you got to do me a favor, me, while I'm out here and I'm still listening.
Uh-huh.
I need never by text.
Okay.
I need it. I need it. You hear me? I need it. I know you ain't got but a few seconds, but if you could just give Mother Wit just a little bit, I'll take it.
Just a little bit, never by text.
Yes.
Is that a request?
Because without him, there would be no getting over. You hear me? Do you see?
Okay. You know what? Just for you, baby.
Without him, there would be no getting over.
You pay
it. Like some of us
you got to find your
got to find your own house ground.
It's your connection. This is your protection. You got to dance to it.
That's Detroit, baby. That's Detroit, baby. Just a little discussion. Always discussion. I love you, Amuka. Be happy but fun happy.
Oh, Mama, this is a kind of nonsense. It helps you all.
Hello.
Is this thing that hang up on me? Have mercy. I'm experiencing a couple of difficulties, honey, so if you're hearing me in the background, that's all right. That was a rather long song, but I lost my switchboard and et cetera, et cetera. I see I'm still recording, but I was going to get Amuka to give us her contact information, but if you want to find out more about her, you can go to facebook.com/Amuka. I believe she's Amuka Kelly. Amuka Kelly, Amuka Kelly, Kelly, honey. You can find her there. So with that, let me come up out of here because I'm not sure exactly what is going on. And yeah, y'all know after so long, honey, I've only scheduled the show for X amount of time, and the computer has a thing of its own. So join us next week where I will be interviewing author Mr. Otis Randolph, honey. He just released his first novel called The Frog's Pond. And I've got to go read this book so I can give you all the latest lowdowns. And that's going to be next week's show. So I hope to see you then soon. I hope you enjoyed yourself with this one. And until we see again, honey, you have been dishing tea, darling, with Big Meech. I'll talk with you real soon. Have a blessed, wonderful, prosperous day. And know that the omniverse is always open to you, honey, and it's everything that you need. Thank you again to all of my sponsors. Thank you to my brand new sponsors, Kissing After Dark Entertainment, and to swirlfilms.com. So I'll talk with you guys again soon. Ciao.